Hey, welcome back to the channel. If y'all rocking with Young Dolph, go ahead, put the Dolph emojis in the comment section. Like this video. Let me know where y'all from, man. We knew they were going to find out who put the money on Young Dolph's head. I already told y'all years ago that 2 years ago that Govan and Big Jook was the people who was actually carrying out the whole entire thing, orchestrating it on Yogotti's behalf. And so, like I told y'all, Big Jook, Growth Hero was been saying that Big Jook was the guy who put the money up on Dolph's head. And it's because Big Jook has a past history with Dolph, because since Yogotti was beefing with Dolph, Big Jook is Yogotti's brother, so he inherited it. Like, they brought in Big Jook so that he was already doing stuff in the streets in Memphis and all this and that. And once he found out that Dolph basically has smashed Yogotti's baby mama, and this all happened over a female, and the jealousy, the envy, the greed that Yogotti had towards Young Dolph, then this is when Big Jook was trying to get Dolph taken out in the streets multiple times, man. Allegedly, the past issues, the one from where the 100 shots was done, the one from when Dolph got hit in the arm and everything, it could have been coming from a Big Jook order hit that came directly from Yogotti, who is his brother and everything like that. Now, who do you think that out of all the people, yeah, they got Govan, and he's the one that that Yogotti should really worry about, because Justin Johnson straight dropped Cornelius Smith and all them other people, Devin Burns, Shondale. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff that they could tell, but Govan Hernandez Govan, he actually works for CMG. Like, when they pull up CMG and they look at Yogotti's name, right next to Yogotti's name is Hernandez Govan. And a lot of people, they haven't been talking about Hernandez Govan. Like, they didn't see him in the courtroom at the same time when Justin Johnson was on the trial. So back there, Govan Hernandez is really the dude who might just be allegedly telling about how Yogotti and Big Jook worked this whole thing to try to get Dolph a hit put out on him. And because he's directly connected to the label, this is where they could put the RICO on Yogotti, because they already know that Govan Hernandez turned himself in for the situation that happened when they tried to hit up Young Dolph in LA. They seen Govan running away from the crime scene, and he matched the description from who the witnesses were called was one of those suspects out there. And he matched the person that was in the video. So when they talked to Hernandez Govan about that, they had him come down to the precinct. LAPD had interrogated him, had a field day. They probably gave him some agreement or whatever to release him. And now, because the feds already know about that, then they know about how Govan is still working with Yogotti and still has a hand that he played into this situation with Young Dolph. So what they doing is they pretty much getting Govan to tell him every single thing about what Big Jook and Yogotti talked about. He's got the text between him and Big Jook that reveal how they hired Straight Drop, how they were finding the shooters and the hitmen and everything like that. And how basically they were trying to get crash test dummies, people who would crash out and not even think about the repercussions, so that they would be the ones that get locked up and not them. And so this is what's going on. Now they looking into Govan Hernandez, and it's a reason why they waited to bring him up into the courtroom until Straight Drop and them were done. And so he's the guy that they got in the back that's working against Yogotti and CMG. They're going to use him to pretty much put the RICO on, because since Govan Hernandez, he lost his daughter got hit up in retaliation from the Young Dolph. And that happened in Houston and everything. And so now that they've got the trial going on, and Govan Hernandez, remember, he's out on the ankle monitor. They did not just release him on the ankle monitor for no reason. That's why it's to keep him in witness protection and everything like that, because he's going to cooperate against Yogotti and CMG when this RICO trial hits. You got to understand, man, I've been telling y'all this for multiple years. Ever since Dolph got hit up, I was breaking down the whole situation, and I told y'all that it was going to go like this, where Straight Dropping them, they were just the pawn pieces. They was the chess pieces of this whole entire chess game. They were the pawns, and that it was really Big Jook and Govan, who was the enforcers for Yo Gotti. Remember, the only way they could get close to Yo Gotti is to get to Big Jook, because that's Yo Gotti's brother. That's his right-hand man. He tells him every little thing that they be talking about behind the scenes. And not only him, but Hernandez Govan too. He's been riding with Yo Gotti since they was in the streets together. And so now that everything is happening and they're pulling the indictments and the subpoenas and they got all the evidence stacked against them. Now, Govan Hernandez, he knows that he's not going to be able to beat the evidence in the phone conversations and the text between him, Yo Gotti, and Big Jook. They took down the whole group chat message and they've been picking it apart, finding the incriminated evidence and information where they were all trying to set up Dolph. They saw the messages, Yo Gotti spazzing out, saying he was going to get Dolph and he was going to do this to him and do that to him. Little did Yo Gotti know the people that he was trying to tell his plans to about how he was going to get Dolph and this and that. That evidence came back into the hands of the feds, and now they're going to go after and get Yo Gotti for this, because he should have never even played with Young Dolph. Like, everybody was preying on his downfall and everything like that, and now the karma is coming back to them. This is why you should have never wished bad upon any people. The karma is going to come back to you. Dolph never did nothing to them. And so now he did the little disses and they went back and forth just talking. But the fact that Yo Gotti and them try to put a whole plan together to take him out and put money on his head and a whole hit, they thought about how they could do it, but they never thought about how they could get away with it. You can't get away with this stuff, especially when the fact that it's a public beef. Both sides, the whole city knows what's going on. You got evidence, you got footage, you got text messages and all the things that can't be deleted. And so they're going to get Yo Gotti and them on the RICO charges. They're going to pretty much put a life sentence on every single person that's involved. Look at how straight drop. Justin Johnson straight drop. He wasn't even supposed to be out to begin with. And so now, with his history and everything, him getting caught up and he's the fall guy for the Young Dolph. But they're trying to send a message letting everybody know that this is not just going to be some light sentences and the statute limitation. Nah, they're giving life. They're not even giving numbers. They're giving you the rest of ever. And so this is why Yo Gotti is super scared right now, because he thought he was on a roll. He thought he was winning. He thought since Dolph was out the way that he would be good to go and all this stuff. Now it's all coming back to haunt him. He ain't came out and he ain't hung out with Angela Simmons. He didn't go to none of the meetings, none of the red carpet events or anything like that. Yo Gotti, he's scared to do a show now. Nobody's booking him. And it's basically because everybody knows that he's about to go down for setting up Young Dolph. And Govan and them, they don't want to go down with him. That's why they're telling on him. Govan is the only person left that knows what happened between Big Jook and the conversations between Yo Gotti and Big Jook. And if he don't cooperate, it's going to be him who's got to do 80 years. And so he don't want to do the 80 years to life. So he's going to pretty much be like, you know what? Yo Gotti didn't pay me enough for this. And, you know, that 100,000, they were all supposed to split it up. And now Govan has already spent over 100,000 on his lawyer fees and all this other stuff, and him having to change locations and all these things because of what happened to Lotta Cash Desto, his daughter. And so now Govan Hernandez is pretty much at a crossroad where he has to cooperate with the feds in taking out Yo Gotti, because otherwise the charges are going to go on him. And him and Yo Gotti got into it. They're not friends no more. Yo Gotti and Govan are not friends no more because of how everything had happened and how everybody's getting in trouble, and that they said that it shouldn't come back to him. Well, it did. And now they don't want to do the time for all the crime that they did. And so they telling on Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti's going to go down for it. The karma's waiting on him too. And basically this is what happens, where they all pretty much preyed on Dolph's downfall. They was jealous, envious, greedy, and they didn't want him to do good. And they did what they did, trying to plan him getting hit up at the Makitas and everything like that. But now they got to deal with the fact that they're not going to be free for much longer. So they traded all this away for nothing. All of the millions of dollars they could have been enjoying and had and partying and going to all these destinations and places. and now they have to sit in a cell, a cold cell. And, you know, and right now they're even more scared because they're awaiting Govan. He's awaiting the sentence. And now he's going to have to figure out if the judge is going to give him 80 or if he could cooperate and get a lesser sentence. And this is basically his new reality now. And so RIP to Dolph. If y'all rocking with Dolph, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like the video and share it.